Good
Good
morning,
evening
Chit.
and hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
And good morning to all the people watching on the live stream and watching, most especially on the replay. We have a very special guest. The person behind, one of the persons behind ECHOstore, a coffee passionate, and the one of the person behind the slow food movement here in Manila. So you wanted to know, ano ba si Chit Juan? Paano ba nagsimula si Chit Juan? And we'll be talking to her. If you like to know her story, please like and subscribe to our Awesome Planet. Share this with your family and friends. My name is Anton Diaz, founder of our Awesome Planet, and we're awesome live with Nancy, the Adobo Queen,
Wait,
live
Anton,
streaming in
kaya nga siya
Houston.
cheat one kasi may 2, 3, 4. Marami yan. Marami
Marami.
ginagawa yan.
Okay, we're
What
awesome
is
live with
one?
Chit Juan. Can you do a short introduction? All right. So, for those people who are not still familiar with the Cheat One, the OG in slow food in ECHOstore and coffee, maybe you can do a short introduction, Chit. How did you get
Anton,
started with all of this? Yes.
Anton, I'm just bothered.
Why?
Nagpapatong yung sounds.
Hindi naman. On our end, on my end, hindi.
Clearly. Can you hear us?
Baka may naka-on ka lang na YouTube.
Really? You think?
Yeah. But we can't hear anything. We're okay on our end.
Teka, I'll close na lang all the rest. Baka may naka-on,
Yeah.
ano?
Oo.
Oo, baka may naka-on.
Correct. Kasi I was watching something kanina. I was watching your interview with Caraboo. Yan.
Oo,
Are we
yes.
good now?
Yes, we're good.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So maybe can you do an introduction?
Sino
Okay.
si cheat one?
Self-introduction. Sino ba si Chitwan? Yan yung amoy kape. Ganon. Pag nakikita nila, parang gusto mo magkape. No. Seriously, sino ba si Chitwan? I love food. I love to eat. I come from a family of foodies. In other words, yung nanay ko, 5 yung sausawan niya pag kumakain siya.
Yun.
Which so bothered my father na, ano ba yan? Then he starts counting, no? Counting the... So ganun sa bahay, there's freedom of expression.
Which province?
Anong province?
Wala nga eh. That's the point. Wala kaming province. So I guess in our desire to adopt a province, my mom would try to speak mga Ilonggo. Meron siya mga little Ilonggo, ganyan. Sabi ko, Ma, why don't you say it all the way? Yun lang ang alam ko. Ganon. But, so we had Kadyos at home because she had Ilonggo roots. And then, we lived near Malabon. So we had access to the freshest seafood. And my father, businessman, no? So nagbiyahe, ganun. And during that time, I guess in the 60s, for a person to be able to travel for business, marami ka mga, let's say, you have to eat with the Japanese, you have to eat with the Americans. So, nag-widen yung, I would say his food DNA na affect ng travels ng father ko. And he would take it home. And he would teach us, kainin mo yan. Dad, hilaw yan. No, it's called sashimi. Na, gano'n. So parang kami, sashimi daw. He was so in love with Japanese food. Nagpagawa siya ng tepan table sa bahay namin. Because we're in metal. He's into metal fabrication. So medyo parang, it's such a man thing, yung mga metal, ganyan. Pagawa siya ng tepan table. And we do like sino ba yung Benihana, ganyan, at home.
Oh, yes.
Kung ano yung na-experience niya, he'd take it home. So much so that the incentive for kids was travel. Yan. Kasi ang dami niyang inuuwi when he travels. So kami, Dad, when do we get to do it? Okay, when you finish grade school, ganon, you get to go to Hong Kong, ganon. When you finish high school, you get to go. Tapos, I would say, sabi niyo kasi self-introduction, mga 3 oras to, no?
Go.
Ay, 1 hour lang pala yung show.
Go,
No,
go.
I'll go cut to cut. Okay. And then, he sent us to New York to see New York. Kanya, wow, wow, this is New York.
Ano to, 70s to? 70s?
Oo, nag-martial law. Patay. Sabi ko, Dad, what happens now? Hindi tayo pwede umuwi. We're gonna stay in New York. So we stayed in New York for 6 months.
Wow.
And that's where I learned naman to eat bagels. Diba? Ako na yung nandun ngayon, right in front of me. Bagel and schmear and salmon. So natututo ka nang kumain ng mga New York hot dog, mga ganyan. And I guess nag-fast forward yung assimilation ko ng different kinds of food. And then, syempre, umuwi kami. And the only way to make my sister who lived in New York come home was to incentivize us again. And daddy ko ang karot niya travel eh. Parating, you wanna go there? Ganyan. So, kinarot naman yung sister ko na, if you come with us, we'll pass by Europe. So, syempre yung sister ko, oh my God, I'll never get this chance. So, nauwi namin yung sister ko. Okay. Then, martial law na, I joined the sorority, I met Nancy Tansinco Reyes Lumen. Oh,
wow,
alam ko,
batch
72.
Okay.
Oh, yan. Tapos ako, wow, she comes from a foodie family niya. And then, fast forward, syempre, travel, your network, and all. And then, fast forward to 2014, I became active in the ASEAN Women Entrepreneurs Network. Ito na ang ASEAN food. Noodles from Vietnam, Myanmar, mga ganyan. So it further enriches you, no? So that's the food part. On the coffee part, again, my father, pag morning, he was a disciplinarian. Dapat nasa breakfast table ka when he's going to eat breakfast. If not, liligpitin yun. Liligpitin yun and you make your own breakfast and I don't cook. Okay, Nancy, ha? Revelation yan. I'm hotel and restaurant graduate like Nancy is. But I only...
Teka, FYI, Anton. The first time we met Chit when she was being a neophyte, alam mo ang ginagawa niyan? Nag-a-assemble yan ng saraw jeepney. Remember, Chit? Yan ang kanyang nun. Yeah.
No, that was, kasi we're asked to work part-time in my dad's, and we were making jeeps, ganon. So, kilala nila ako as may alam sa jeeps, ganon. Tapos, lahat ng talent mo palalabasin, no? Itong mga masters. Marunong ka ba mag-gitara? Dali mo yung gitara mo bukas. Kanta ka naman, ganyan. Parang sing and dance, ganon. And then, the coffee would be brewing pagbaba namin ng breakfast, daddy ko. Tapos you had to learn how to make his coffee. Mga ano pa noon, mga Hills Brothers, mga Chase and Sanborn. Ganun na mga kape noon. But he would buy, he was a serious coffee drinker, you'd say. And then, alam ni Nancy sa UP, ang tambayan namin, basement. Ang pinakamurang maiinom mo dun is black coffee. Which is good. So kung medyo nagtitipid ka kasi meron ka pa mga bibili ng mga ibang bisyo, kape at egg sandwich ang breakfast mo and lunch and sometimes hanggang merienda, kape at egg sandwich, hard-boiled egg. To this day, Nancy, this morning, I had hard-boiled egg, mayonnaise, pero on sardo na, hindi na on pande. Dati ano yung tinapay ni Mommy, Nancy, pandemonay or pandelimon, and then they put hard-boiled egg, mayonnaise, salt, and then this white paper napkin, and then coffee. Okay ka na. You're good for the day. And then, syempre, nahilig kami sa travel. And that's how I got to add yung hindi yung ayoko niyan. Yung magbabiyahe ka tapos kakainin mo fast food, di ba? Parang I became more adventurous. Yung tatay mo mismo, pinapakain ka ng hilaw na karne. Dad, this is raw. No, it's called tartar. Steak tartar. Steak tartar pala. Yung tatay ko, kung ano yung matutunan sa mga friends niya, pinapasa sa amin eh. Ganon.
Buhay pa yan, so, Dad mo?
No.
Buhay pa?
Wala na. So yung coffee, I got from my dad, developed in UP. And then when we were traveling na, di ba? That's when we founded, if you remember, 1993 Figaro.
Yes. Of
Yung
course.
Kape, sabi namin, let's do armchair traveling. Yung pala yung tawag doon, armchair traveling. So yung mga gamit namin, parang yung mga cafe sa Paris, ganyan. Parang transport, pero iniinom mo Barako. That started parang yun tuloy-tuloy na coffee. But not because, oy, uso kape, magkape tayo. Because it's from the house, from the home to school. Black coffee talaga. Hanggang college and then Figaro. And then after, when we were in Figaro, sabi ng mga tao, we would bring in pa Jamaican Blue Mountain, Hawaiian Kona, Brazil Santos, mga ganyan. Sabi ng mga tao, hindi, yung regular lang ako. Sabi ko, ba't pa natin to ini-import? Lahat ng may gusto naman nila yung regular. And regular was local coffee.
Yes.
So sabi ko, bakit? Why are we overthinking it? I started giving away the Jamaican Blue Mountain, Hawaiian Kona, and centered on local coffee.
What was your blend? What was the local blend?
Liberica ba yan o Arabica na?
No, actually no. And that's a story in itself because people were not conscious about Barako or Liberica din. Ang alam lang nila, Robusta. Kasi the big companies would buy Robusta, sprinkled with some Arabica na sabi ng iba, ang hina naman yung kape na yan, parang hindi ka nagkakape. So we blended it, and that blend, we called our house blend, became the most popular.
Okay.
And the secret was, kinarir namin. We bought a roaster. Dalawa lang tindahan natin. Let's go for it. Walang gumagawa niyan. We bought a German roaster and we started roasting our coffee. We'd only roast once a week. Parang people who would look at financials, hindi nila maintindihan why we did it. But sabi namin, para tayo yung una na merong freshest coffee.
So anong year to? Mga 80s ba to?
90s.
90s na to.
Yeah.
Early 90s.
And then 4 years later, dumating yung the big green mermaid. Otherwise known as
Starbucks.
The biggest coffee chain in the world. No?
Yeah.
So sabi ko, kapit lang tayo. Parang dadating si Jolina, ganyan. Parang dadating yung bagyo. So, kapit ka lang. But we started to be our own blend, if you will, our own brand. And so we were going neck and neck. But of course, we didn't have as deep pockets as the others. So we went into franchising. Yun na naging model namin to expand. Using OPM, other people's money, sabi nga nila. So you franchise. And after 15 years of that, I felt like every other parang space, iniisipan mo na lang, pupunta ba dyan si Starbucks? So ako ba yung pupunta dyan? Tapos sabihin naman ni Starbucks, nandiyan na ba si Figaro? Lagyan natin dyan. And then you start to lose the soul. Kasi parang ito na lang ba yung gagawin ko everyday? I'll wake up and look for a place and put a coffee shop there, talk to a franchisee, ganun. And right around that time, we started a campaign called Live Green. Okay, Live Green, sabi ko, parang for the environment, ganyan. And I would be going around coffee farms in the country to get our supply. Kasi kami nga nagro-roast eh. So sabi nila, ang tawag daw doon, vertical integration. Ikaw na nagro-roast, tapos kukunin mo na rin sa farm, tapos, sabi ko nga, walang financial na mag-aano sa amin, we bought a farm. Okay.
Where?
In Cavite, yan. In Amadeo, Cavite. Tapos sabi ko, yung consultant namin, kasama ko sa coffee board, Doc, pa-plant natin yan, Barako, organic lahat. What farmers could not do, sabi ko, gawin natin para malaman natin, impossible ba? Mahal ba siya gawin? Let's do it. So that started the farm in Cavite. So nandun na yung coffee, nandun na yung pagka-foodie. And I would say that ang common denominator dyan is not being afraid. I mean, entrepreneurs are really risk takers naman. Alam natin yan.
Mhm.
And because of that organic dream, the coffee, and I was getting involved in mga NGOs, mga Peace and Equity Foundation, PBSP, na you find a higher reason for your business,
Mhm.
which they call now sustainability. Then in the 2000s, it was called corporate social responsibility,
Oo.
CSR. Yung
CSR.
pag kumikita ka, tutulong ka. Sabi ko, hindi, dapat from the get-go, may tinutulungan ka na.
Mhm.
And that was 2008, and that gave birth to ECHOstore. Yun.
Dun
Kaya
nang
ko palang
galing yung
sabihin in
ECHOstore.
30 minutes. Okay.
Oo. Dun nang
Nasa
galing yung
nagtatanong yan.
ECHOstore. Dun nang galing yung ECHOstore. Sige, so paano nangyari yung ECHOstore?
So, my two friends, Rina and Jeannie, Rina and I were together in UP. Si Jeannie naman and Rina were classmates since grade school. Nagdi-dinner kami and we said, what will we do the rest of our lives? Yan. Wala pang pandemic noon, Anton. Niisip na namin, what will we do to, get to the next level, help people, ganon. So, dapat tumutulong tayo for environment. Sabi ganyan. Oo nga, no? Sabi ko, yeah, so we can help our communities. Easy. Oh, yeah, let's give them hope. And we have to work with organizations. So, it was spelling ECHO or ECHO.
Echo.
So, sabi ko, but it's a store. They will call it ECHOstore. And it was conceived to create another new word, sustainable lifestyle. In 2008, sustainable, paano ba i-spell yan? Ganon. Ano ba yan sa Tagalog? Ganon. But it was really to, I guess, get people into that consciousness of living a lifestyle that does not waste, that can be sustainable. So noong 2008, we were new and crazy. But now we are the essential.
Yes.
So sabi ko nga sa'yo, maybe after you told me about that book, Anton, of the fourth turning, kaya adapt ako because in 2008, we were thinking of that.
Yes.
To be our way into the future. And people would say, oh, saan naman galing yan? Kikita ka ba dyan? Mga ganon, no? You always have detractors. Sabi namin, maybe this is the thing to do. This is the time where we don't want to make a lot of money, but we want to see where this idea goes. So it was not about, hindi na ako magfa-franchise, ako ayoko na. So what we call licensing, kasi meron pa rin insistent, we want that in Davao, we want that in Cagayan de Oro. O sige, license na lang tayo, then do what you want to do, basta same mindset lang tayo. We simplified it from franchise. Sa franchise kasi, everything is the same. The napkins you use, the tissue, the cookie must look the same whether you're in Davao or Manila. Di ba parang cookie cutter? Cookie cutter.
Yep.
For us, nung Echo na, sabi ko, licensing na lang. Basta same mindset sila, go. So we became freer, more relaxed, hindi na yung rigid na ganon. So it went, I guess it's going with our maturing process also. And now I see the next generation. Kanina nag-uusap kami ni Anton, Nancy, na the Gen X and the Gen Y and now the Gen Z. Sa Gen Z, they woke up, may ECHOstore na eh. Yung Gen X, sabi niya, hindi ka kikita dyan. Mag-iba ka na ng business model. Sabi ko kay Gen X, hold on lang, manood ka. Tapos sabi ni Gen Y, baka naman pwede i-combine natin yung social enterprise with, with earning money. Ganon. So, this is really for Gen Z na. And beyond. Yun.
And beyond. No? So, how did the slow food get into it? Is it after ECHOstore?
No, it's during.
During.
As we are visiting our communities, punta kami Baguio, Zamboanga, Camiguin, ganyan, to get the products. Eh. So our honey comes from Quezon, our coconut oil comes from Palawan, our coffee comes from Sulu, Benguet, ganon. Lahat nilalagyan namin ng traceability, di ba? That's the idea. And then when we were in Baguio, they said, meron kaming slow food event. Slow food? Bago yan Saan yan? Aba, makakapunta ka pala ng Italy with slow food. Siyempre, ako, travel addict. Sabi ko, paano sumali dyan? Merong show sa, ganyan, 2012, gano'n. Kusama ko, I'll pay my way, gano'n. And that opened our world to the world of good, clean, and fair food. Tapos kala mo, Italians lang. Hindi. Africans, South Americans. Ako, oh my God, this is the world, And slow food is in 160 countries with millions of members. And sabi ko, I want to be a member. Napakamahal, 10 euro, di ba? 10 euro lang. So, 2012, we became active in slow food. Kami lahat sa Echo. And then all the farmers that we get products from, sinasama namin sa slow food. Or slow food members na sila, kasama namin dun farmers. Sila yung libre. Kami pay our way. Pero sila libre. Farmers, dinadala namin. I brought a farmer from Sagada.
Wow,
nag-open yung eyes nila, no?
Okay.
To the world. Yan. So, napunta dun yung slow food. Yan.
Yun. Alright.
Oh, Jamie Oliver.
Jamie Oliver.
Yeah. How did you meet him? Sorry.
No. We'll go to Jamie Oliver kasi nasa pictures natin.
Okay.
Kwento yan ni Chit in a while. But no, what I wanted to ask, kasi you've really been considered as an OG in coffee, in social enterprise, in all of these things, even slow food, no? What was the key in parang you're like 5 years ahead of the trends, no? What was the key there? Was it the one family? Was it your friends during the time? Now, the main reason I'm asking here, because a lot of people we're in a stage where, ano ba mangyari after pandemic, diba? So, ano ba yan? And actually, a lot of people are looking at Chit 1, diba? Ano bang gagawin ni Chit 1 in this space? Paano ba? So, maybe, siguro, we don't have the answer, but maybe you can share with us, paano ba what were your insights? How did you come up with, these like trends and then act on it, diba? And then going into the post-pandemic.
Okay, thanks for that question. Actually, there was a time I wanted to be known as a futurist. I would read in the year
talaga?
before the year 2000. I was reading like Faith Popcorn.
Yes, Faith Popcorn. Yep.
The Popcorn Report, no?
Yes.
Ngayon naman, there are new personalities. Sila Gert Hyde ba yun? Yung mga, makikita mo naman sa TED Talk, sa Google, the futurists, what do they see? And why do they see it? So, naging inspiration ko yun na si Faith Popcorn, yung cocooning or staying in the home, was a trend she talked about in the late 90s.
Yep.
Na ang tao babalik sa bahay, magluluto, So, I guess for me, it's a mix of, number one, in our family, walang bawal subukan. Okay? So, for the people who are still looking for anong gagawin nila, you have to take risks. Wala naman sigurado sa mundo except death and taxes, di ba? So, talagang magsusubok ka ng uncharted territory. You have to blaze trails, new trails. So, ano yun? Yung ECHOstore, pinagtatawanan nila. But now, essential na pala siya. I mean, I'm not bragging about it, but I'm saying, during that time, kung nagpapigil ka sa detractors, wala, sasara mo na lang siya, di ba? So, you just carry on. And then, I believe that, it might be cheesy again, I believe that everybody has a mission. I believe that there is a mission, and if your business is aligned to your mission, it is what will make your business sustainable. Kasi ang unang tanong ng tao, and I know they're not ready when they say, magkano kikitain dyan? When they start talking to you about magkano kikitahin, magkano investment, and start doing the number thing on you. Because hindi to ready. Then you find other people who will say, like my two partners, parang, okay lang, let's open up to the possibilities, ganon. Sabi ko, walang sisihan. Number 2, wag tayo ma-stress. Number 3, hindi nyo to kukunan ng sweldo nyo. I made the rules.
Okay.
Sige,
That's
game. Walang kukuha ng sweldo dito, ha? Okay. So after a year, sabi lang, okay naman, no? Nag-work naman yung walang sweldo tayo. Sabi ko, yeah, you find your own racket somewhere, you know. Sabi ko, pero tell me, what have you achieved? What have you gotten in the last 2 years? Wow, can you imagine all our biyahe? Dami naming narating na lugar. Sponsored. We're invited by people. Sabi ko, anong puhunan natin? Talkies, tsaka yung experience natin, sinishare natin. I mean, tapos papakainin ka doon, libre, di ba? I mean, you're not there for the free meal naman, but the hospitality. The hospitality is so natural kasi ang sinishare mo sa kanila, sabi, bakit nila alam yun? Sabi ko, kita mo? Sabi ko kay Rina, yung akala mong alam ng lahat, hindi alam ng lahat, pero alam mo. So, yun ang isi-share mo. O nga, no? Parang kwento ko lang. But we've always been doing that. We have always been doing that. They never saw that side of value addition in yung kamote, paano mo gagawing kamote chips. Hindi nila naiisip yun. Tayo, naisip na natin. Diba? So yun. So I had to remind my partners also about our usapan that we will not get a salary from this business. But we will pay our people well.
Yon. Galing. Now,
I have a question.
Go.
You succeeded or you are succeeding without any prerequisite of government support. Because, you know, I think that's important to know also. Some people might think palakasan or ganitong kailangan ganito, malakas ka sa ganyan or support ka ng isang government foundation, yung mga, di ba? So how did you manage with that?
Ang nangyari is you have to look out where government can be a support, not necessarily in terms of money. That's what I always share with people. You know, with government, you can get resources. Like, papagamit nila yung facility nila. We go, uy, patawag naman kayo ng meeting, dyan na sa town hall. Di hindi ka na magre-rent ng venue. Libre naman yung barangay hall. Kaibiganin mo si mayor. Kasi all these local officials also want mentors. So they will welcome you with the red carpet, no? Of course, walang carpet doon. Pero they'll welcome you talaga. Tapos papakainin ka ng, sabi ko, ano yan? Cheese rolls tsaka spaghetti. Sabi ko, okay, next time, wag na tayo mag-impress. Kung ano yung local food, yun ang iserve nyo. So the next time, ma'am, ayan na, nilagang saging, nilagang kamote. Kasi kala nila, best foot forward is to serve you spaghetti. Di ba? Sabi ko, ayoko na ng spaghetti. Please, utang na loob. Pwede ba yung local dish nyo?
Yeah.
But they don't know that. So there's a culture thing that you have to tweak a little and tell them, gusto ko yung kinakain nyo. O sige, benggit tayo. Itag yung smoked pork.
Yeah.
Tapos lalagyan lang yun ng pechay, gagawing soup. Okay? If you go naman to Cavite, it's forever tinola kasi maraming manok, di ba? Huhuli lang na isang manok. Medyo matigas. Pero huhuli ng isang manok, tinola na yun. There's papaya, there's malunggay, then you get the tinola. So, you learn to eat what the local people are eating, no? And that's really slow food. And that's culture. And yung magpakatotoo kayo, let's not serve spaghetti. And I have this parang rider when we go for mentorships. I tell them, please serve us local food. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's show the photos, no? Maybe you can share us what are these photos.
Okay. Ito is in Atok, Benguet. This must have been about 5 years ago. And these women, alam nyo, special ang role ng women sa kape. Kasi unang-una, ang coffee kasi, because it's natural, it's not irrigated, it's rain-fed, nagra-ripen siya at different stages. Siguro mga 3 beses mo babalikan yung puno. And we had to teach these women that if you pick only the red cherries, I'll pay you higher. So this was 5-6 years ago. Dati kasi tatanggalin nila lahat para isahan na lang. hindi nila alam, nag-iiba yung taste. But sino ang gagawa niyan? Babae lang. So much so that we became part of this movement, the International Women's Coffee Alliance. Kasi mga kababaihan all over the world, Africa, Indonesia, and Asia, Latin America, babae ang gumagawa niyan. Okay, so I thought that it's a very powerful photo to show that women play a big role in coffee, in getting very good coffee. And now it's a global movement to get mga cafe femenino, is this farm owned by a woman? And then we
Oo.
create small groups around the country headed by women farmers.
Wow, galing Galing na story
Okay, next photo. Yan, syempre, so in slow food, they appointed me to be the Southeast Asia counselor. So we're 47 in the world and promoting good, clean, and fair food. Tapos, I'm in charge of checking on Indonesia, on Malaysia, on Vietnam, kung ano yung mga activities na ginagawa nila, while I also check on the Philippines. And then I report to the council in Italy, which meets every year. So nandun lahat ng council na from Uzbekistan to ganyan. And then you chart the future of the slow food movement. Yun. So I represent Southeast Asia.
So how's our state versus other regions?
Alam mo, we should be like Africa. Sa Africa, ang dami. And, a lot of places in Africa look like Cavite, actually. Para tayo, tropical, That's why they grow the same things. Coffee, coconut, banana, papaya. Pero sa Africa, they're very conscious about yung parang farm to table. So, gardens. They have a lot of gardens preserving their old tayo. Like, you preserve duha, aratilis, kamyas. Let's say sa pansigang, mamaya na yung adobo, no? Pero sa pansigang, di ba, you have souring ingredients from Ilocos hanggang Sulu. Okay, you have calamansi, you have kamatis, you have kamyas, you have rattan. I didn't know rattan pala is a souring agent.
Yes.
And then you have batuan, di ba, in the Visayas, batuan.
Yes.
And then you have suwa, tabon-tabon in the South. That's why in Gensan, General Santos, the kilawin tastes different because iba yung pampasar nila. So, yung gano'n, no, you preserve all this local endemic food. Yun.
Okay.
Next photo.
Nice.
Question, Chit.
Yes.
When you say garden, are you talking about every family having their backyard with all these varieties of food for the table? Or
Yes.
community garden ba yan?
Community gardens, and then they're partnered with restaurants. So let's say meron kang community garden sa dati yan, meron tayo sa mga public elementary schools, 'di ba? May mga pechay, may mga ganyan. Pero
Yes.
hindi siya diverse. Ang gusto natin yun talagang parang forest garden na hindi sila neatly arranged because they depend on each other. So that's what we replicate in many areas. Tapos ipa-partner dapat with a restaurant. In Africa, they have a target, let's say 10,000 gardens. Tapos naka-partner siya with restaurants. So the restaurants have access to local food. Yun.
Galing
Okay. Ito naman, this is one of the communities that used to serve me cheese rolls. Now, hindi na cheese rolls. It's called Tublay in Benguet. The other one was Atok. Ito, Tublay, that's the barangay captain and the barangay treasurer. And just yesterday, we were talking kasi they're sending me coffee. And this coffee comes from Tublay, gets on a Victory liner, and then I pick it up from Victory liner, go through the coffee, roast it, and sell it in ECHOstore. So, even the coffee, alam mo kung saan galing. Diba? So, you trace it, and then I'm trying to get them an organic certification now so we can export some of it to Europe.
Galing Wow, Tublay.
Okay. So that's the store nung pre-pandemic days. We've maintained this store which is not in the mall para meron pa ring mga tao na a couple of walk-ins will want to still look through the shelves, but we really discourage it. Nag-adapt na kami, nag-online na kami. All of those you can buy online now.
Mhm.
So tapos yung kaya we never closed this store since pandemic kasi nakakuha kami ng license to be an essential grocery. Why?
Mm.
We sell turmeric, we sell coconut oil, we sell malunggay. Di ba lahat yan anti-COVID?
Yes.
Okay.
And we
Correct.
sell tawa-tawa, our bestseller, tawa-tawa for dengue,
Ah, talaga?
COVID, fever. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Galing.
we continue to sell those things, chocolates, coffee, etc. And we also are big in gifting, yung making curated gifts for
Oo.
companies and all.
Yes.
Tapos, we send it to like 30 addresses, 40 addresses. Binibigay na lang. Ganun ang adaptation namin sa pandemic, Anton and Nancy.
Oo. Yes.
Because they like people like big multinationals order from us, mga airlines, banks, foundations, a lot of non-profits. Ang qualification nila for vendors dapat sustainable, believes in sustainability, cares for the environment. So, pasok kami doon. So,
Automatic.
automatic, sabi ko, nag-order sa atin actually si Canva. Si Canva nag-order? Kasi naghahanap sila, si Greenpeace nag-order. Sabi mo kasi forever on the internet, kaya I'm careful about the
Oo.
companies I'm saying, no? Kasi totoo naman na nag-order si Canva talaga sa amin. And
Oo.
then there are some, what we call resellers. Somebody could be in Cebu, curating products for a company there, pero sa amin no order.
May ganun din.
May ganun
Saan tong
din.
store na to?
Sa
Sereno
Salcedo
to?
Village.
Salcedo
It's-
Village to.
Yeah, it's along what used to be the Salcedo Market on
Mhm.
Tordesillas. So, nandyan siya. And then, lumipat na kasi sa Salcedo Market. So, ngayon, ang landmark ko na is 3 Salcedo. Di ba? Diagonally across 3 Salcedo. Mukhang hindi
Oo
naman
nga.
lilipat si 3 Salcedo. So that's where we pack the stuff. And then it's also easy to receive. Like kung may magpapadala ng sample ng kape, sample ng
Oo.
adlay. Yung pala, we also like to work
Adlay.
with chefs. Yeah, with chefs like sina Margarita Forres, Jam Melchor, to let them experiment on the slow food ingredients because they're also part of slow food. Like
Mhm.
adlay, the grain that's now so popular. It's low glycemic index. It's good for diabetics. And we have recipes for champurrado, risotto, etc. for adlay. So finding new uses, culinary uses for forgotten ingredients.
Yun. Galing.
Has there been any movement for malunggay?
Malunggay marami. Like si Bernie Estrella of Pangasinan, she's the malunggay queen. As you are the adobo queen. Ayan! This is the one who's making akbay to me, is the founder of Slow Food. And I think
wow.
sa akin, it's very important that, you get to meet, sino ba nag-isip niyan? Yan.
Oo, yes.
And then, one of the council meetings was held in Kenya. So we're in Kenya with the other councilors. The guy on the right is from China. And you'll be surprised, in China, in Chengdu, where they have the panda bears and they have Szechuan peppers.
Yeah.
Yun. This guy, ang name na nga niya Italian Vittorio na siya ngayon. Okay, but he has a Chinese name. And the other guy, if I'm not mistaken, hindi siya Mexico basta somewhere in South America. Yun. So that's the time that 47 councilors have a one-on-one with Carlo Petrini, the founder, because you stay together for like 3 to 5 days. So you're eating and breathing slow food and planning the future of the movement. And, he's not that young anymore. He's pushing 80. So we're actually parang the support group around him so that we can spread the word about slow food around the world. No? So,
galing.
and this one, ayan, sinag sa inyo, International Women's Coffee Alliance, di ba? So she's one of our members and she runs a coffee shop in Zamboanga using Sulu Coffee. She's actually an ex-OFW. Ito ang sasabihin ko sa mga OFWs. This lady, oh my God. I met her, of course, pre-pandemic. And nag-mentor-mentor lang kami in Echo. And then ngayon, mas matapang pa siya sa akin. On her second year, she wanted another store. Sabi ko, sure ka? Yes, Miss Chit, kasi alam ko yung market dito. Now she has, I think, a total of 4 or 5 stores in
Wow.
Zamboanga and Cagayan de Oro. So minsan, aapuyan mo lang eh. You just light that fire and, the rest is history. Sila na yung magko-continue ng blaze. Ganon. Parang ano talaga, parang fire in a good way.
Galing.
Okay,
Oh,
that's me in our forest farm. Yan.
In Amadeo.
In Amadeo, a part of the farm that I don't usually go to is really ganyan. May mga tibig trees,
How big?
native trees, and I want to keep it that way kasi eventually I want to make it like a destination for people to commune with nature. Ganon. So hindi siya manicured.
How big is it?
Maliit lang, 4 hectares.
Okay na. I mean, it's manageable.
Yeah, it's manageable and we get to plant coffee and then we have pandan, we have herbs, and we also planted native trees para, di ba, to preserve the biodiversity. Ganon. Daming ano dyan, bees and butterflies, dragonflies, ganon. Yan.
Wow, galing.
Meron pa ba? Ayan, syempre,
Finally.
si Secretary Berna Puyat, si Margarita Forres at ako, nag-fangirl kami. Kasi Jamie Oliver is a big supporter of slow food along with Alice Waters. And in 2014, he happened to be in Italy. So syempre lahat kami had the chance to parang listen to him and then had the chance to have a photo op. Yun. So hindi naman kami ganun ka-close, physically lang dyan. But he's such an inspiration kasi. Kasi social entrepreneur din siya eh.
Question, is there a possibility we can adapt his program about improving the diet of school children? Siguro with slow food, natural food.
Slow food, we're working with Congress now, with Congressman Toff de Venecia on creating that gastronomy group so that we can propose mga legislation. You need to legislate kasi, Nancy, like to tell DepEd to do this, to let children know where a chicken comes from. It doesn't come from a fast food restaurant. To show children what our local fruits are. Ganon. So kami nila Gaita, nila Paula Aberasturi, mga slow food advocates, nila Chef John Melchor, we're working with Congress also on doing this. We're working with Lauren Legarda and Secretary Berna Puyat because slow food farms and slow food destinations become slow food travel. Yeah, which is the way to go now. So parang may interaction rin kami with Department of Tourism to develop slow travel destinations. And with Department of Agriculture, ang ginawa namin, sinama namin sila sa Italy so that they will see the ecosystem of slow food.
Yeah. That's a good that's a good perspective. Kasi I've been covering food and travel. What's coming out of the pandemic that people are looking for is, of course, one is nature, diba? Outdoors. But not only nature, but heritage food. Before kasi that's not part of the equation eh. Usually, there are people na nag-travel lang, there are people na heritage food lang. But now it's being merged kasi a lot of people tried a lot of food already, cook a lot at home. They appreciate more the heritage food. So actually perfect yung slow food destination location. And then hindi na rin perfect kasi hindi na rin at saka in all the hindi na wala na yung mga mass travel na maramihan kasi wala talagang small groups eh. So talaga it's really slow travel.
And people are buying experience now.
Oo. Yes.
So yung ginawa ko na yun, that's like a forest bath. You just stay there in the forest and, di ba, merong ganon. Kung merong mga sunbathing noon, ito forest bathing. And it's such a trend in Japan, actually, kasi di ba sa Japan, they live in very tiny spaces. So they go out to the forest just outside Tokyo for forest bathing. So gusto kong subukan yan sa Cavite. Yan.
Why
Pwede
not?
mag-suggest. I
Yeah.
think
Okay.
together with that, sabi nga ni Antonio during the pandemic, I'm finding more and more that people want to tell stories again. To tell their
Yes.
stories that of their parents, of their families, of their province. So we have to encourage them kasi sometimes jaded na sila sa Instagram and the rest, although
Mm-mm.
it's good, but for them to tell, as they tell it, they remember it, and then it stays,
Yes.
as you said, the soul is put together. Anyway, that's
Correct.
just a suggestion.
Yeah, kasi ngayon ang ginagawa ko, sis Nancy, dahil may project rin tayo sa Sigma Delta, no? I'm archiving. So I'm
Oh,
going through
yan.
our pictures. I saw a picture of my mom on her stove. Sabi ko, pasok to. Okay, yan. And that's where we got it. That's why all
Yes.
my brothers know how to cook, Anton.
Oo.
We're 4 boys and 4 girls. Sa
Ah.
4 girls, 2 lang ang marunong magluto. I'm one of the hindi marunong. The boys all knew how. You know why? My mom would have forever something brewing, something cooking on her stove.
Yep.
So, you get to learn that. So I think importante yan, no, Nancy, yung finding out
Storytelling.
one's DNA talaga. Where
Yeah.
did you come from? Oo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yun.
May pictures pa?
Wala na. Okay na.
All right.
Okay na.
I
So
was
any final question, Nancy? On my end lang, no. I thank you for sharing the story. Ang galing ng story, and I can relate, no. Although my mom comes from Bicol and stuff, they all live here na. We don't really
Mhm.
had a foodie background at the start, no. And so that's why I appreciate your your story. Parang there was this craving, no,
Mhm.
to have a foodie connection that started
Yes.
your search.
That's
So
why, as early as now, I'm announcing that Anton Diaz and his family will also be in the seat being interviewed about their culinary DNA. Kasi siya yung parati
let's
behind
see,
the scene.
let's see.
Okay. Yeah. And you're right, no? As you were asking me kanina, kasi sabi nyo nga casual lang to,
Oo.
naalala ko lahat. Oo nga, no? And then every
Yes!
Friday we look forward kasi magdadala yung father ko ng mga cold cuts, which was like charcuterie. Pero tuwing Friday yun, we so look forward to it. Kasi nga, kung ano yung natututunan niya abroad, and, he was born of humble beginnings. Hindi niya alam yan. Yung
Hindi niya
mga
alam yan.
mga bologna and the mga
Oo.
liverwurst, hindi niya yan alam. But he learned it in travel. And then kami yung pinag-practicean niya. He would share it with us.
Oo. And I think
Including
that
how,
was
including
that was
how to
crucial.
drink a good scotch. O, di ba? Meron pang kasamang
Okay.
ganon.
Pati
Yan.
ganun din, And
Kompleto.
that was crucial, I guess, with your entire story. Parang you guys got exposed or not. Galing.
Thank you,
Thanks.
thank you.
May
Nancy,
challenge
any
ako.
final question?
Ay, hindi. Challenge.
Oh, anong
Challenge ka?
Okay. Alam mo, Chit has already become a global personality. I challenge you to go to Starbucks and tell them, why don't you try Philippine coffee? At least even one promotion.
They did already. They did
Oh.
already. Pagpasok nila, they did that. They got some beans from. But ang nangyayari ngayon, what we're doing, and this is very interesting, is that Filipinos are going out with the coffee. I just read a story this morning about a lady in Germany. And then we're sending coffee to, believe it or not, Switzerland. We're sending coffee to Los Angeles. So pag ganon, no? Kasi dito, very, very high ang awareness na for local coffee, to the point na you want to know na lang sino yung farmer, no? You go back to the farm. But now the Gen Y and Z, they're going out.
They're going out with it.
They're bringing the coffee with them. So they're our ambassadors now. Yun.
Meron na
So ako
bang
magtatanim na
astronaut-
lang ako. Ha?
Meron na bang astronaut na nagdala ng kape sa
Alam mo kasi baka tumapon, di ba? So yung astronaut, baka they can bring dried coffee capsules pero it's not the same experience, eh. 'Di ba? Siguro baka in outer space, no. I think it's a gravity issue, eh. But I'm so happy that a lot of our next generation are now bringing the coffee to a different level.
That's good. That's great.
Yun. And knowing when to pass on rin, Anton, knowing when to pass the baton, yung parang, come
Oh,
on,
yes.
iwan mo na yan sa mga bata.
Oh,
Okay.
isa pa. What
Oo.
can you do with used coffee beans aside from the usual putting it in the ground for fertilizer
Put it
and
in your refrigerator.
as
It
deodorant?
works just as good as
Oh,
baking soda.
Oo.
Okay?
okay,
It absorbs eh.
what about putting it in a barbecue pit? Pwede ba 'yon?
You can also you can put it in the barbecue pit. You can use it to aerate the soil. So kami binabalik lang namin sa farm, but
Okay.
our worms don't want too much coffee naman. So hinahaluan mo pa ng
Ah,
na-over din sila, parang na-hyper
Na-over din.
caffeinate sila. It cannot be pure coffee. Kailangan may
okay.
halo.
All
But
right.
definitely, we just borrowed its juice. So it definitely has to go back to the earth.
Okay, let me just remind you that when I was in Landers, dyan sa Manila, and they had the seafood section, yung fresh, in four corners of that gondola, they had coffee. So, some people, I don't feel good about throwing coffee. I have to find out how to use it. Pero ang dami-dami minsan, galon-galon na yung binibigay sa akin. I don't know what to do.
Just put it in your soil. Basta you mix it lang. And
Alright.
coffee is also what they use. Pero this is freshly roasted coffee. Yung pag nag-smell ka ng pabango, di ba, scent A, scent B, before you go to scent B, they give you coffee to smell and to neutralize the flavor notes. Tapos
Yes.
tsaka ka pupuntad sa next. So that's another use for
Oh.
coffee. And then, of course, freshly roasted coffee is always good in your car. Okay? So
That's
just
good.
keep like a kilo or a pound or less in your car. Pero papalitan mo rin, ha? Inumin mo naman next week, tapos palitan mo ulit. Parang i-park mo lang siya sa kotse. Just like pandan. Kami, what we use now for the cars na air freshener is fresh pandan leaves.
Yes.
You
Lalagay
just
mo lang.
tie a little, throw it in the back of the car, parang may nagbe-bake ng pandan cake every time you enter your
We
car.
do that in Thailand. Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
All right. Well, what's still on your bucket list ba? And or future, looking forward to future collaborations?
Good question.
Future collaborations, ako, I want to push the organic agenda pa rin. Kasi napapag-iwanan siya because people still think organic is expensive. Tsaka, marami pa rin hindi naniniwala. But at the end of the day, if you've got everything else in the world, you should eat organic. If you can grow it, good. But if you can't grow it, then you'll have to choose organic when you buy. Yun. So, nandun pa rin ako. It's been 2004 pa ako dyan sa organic movement.
Oo nga,
It's been 17 years,
Tagal.
But I think it's still doable.
And travel places? Are there
Oh.
places?
Oh yeah,
been?
I still want to go to Iceland or Alaska for that Aurora Borealis. Siyempre, we have to put something that's a stretch pero doable, di ba? Pero medyo stretch. I want to go back to South America, Central America. I love the places there, I've been to Peru, Chile, Brazil, Guatemala, Colombia, Mexico, but there's so much more. I want to go to Argentina, Patagonia, mga ganon, South Africa, marami pa. So marami pang places around the world.
All right.
Always
Thank you.
keep dreaming. Yeah.
Dreaming. Final
You
message
never
lang.
stop dreaming.
Never
Yeah.
stop dreaming. Siguro, Chit, any final message for people watching, planning for the pandemic, for the post-pandemic world, and just any inspirational message from you?
Ako ngayon from table to farm. I want to bring everybody back to the farm. Grow your own food. I'm not here to sell you lettuce. I'm here to encourage you to grow your own. Okay? And growing our own food is the best way that we can eat well and live well. So yan, I think it's appropriate. And if you can't sell them a product, sell them the experience. And that's what we're doing. When you go to ECHOstore, when you go to any slow food advocates business, you're sharing with people that this can be done to eat good, clean, and fair food. Yun lang. And don't forget the coffee. Thank you so much, Anton and Nancy. Thank you so much.
You are an inspiration, even if you make the Philippines sleepless.
Hindi, if you drink good coffee, makakatulog ka pa rin. Yan. So we can share with you how we do it. Even those with GERD, may kape kami para dyan, you know. So we've addressed everything na.
Good.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you for this chance.
Galing. Thank you for the inspiration. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Chit.
Thanks,
Guys,
Chit.
please like and share to your family and friends who wants to get inspired with the Chit Juan.
So proud. We're so proud to have had
so
you here.
proud. So proud.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. Live an awesome life.
Okay.
Can you do a short